Hello, everyone in the Mindbody community. Welcome to Mindbody TV. I'm Dr. Kim Duramo, and I am super excited to bring this broadcast to you today. I want to say a special shout out to everyone listening to the recording or who's listening on the podcast. Today, I'm going to talk about how to always have everything you need, to have exactly what you need to receive all that you need, and what that really means and how we access that. A lot of times, the mind has all these ideas about, I need to have this and I need to have this, and all the things that have to happen for us to be whole and fulfilled and complete. And then we live in this state of fear or lack if we don't have those things in place, or if we don't know how they're going to happen. And that is not how it works, how we really receive. In order to really receive all we need, we have to open to allow it to come through. Like, we're the invitation for it and we receive it. And if we're in fear or in this idea, like, I can't have what I need, it's not enough, I'm not enough, I have to do more. And then we do all these things that put us in a state of like overwork and overwhelm and lack. It actually keeps us from having what we need, whether it's health or wealth or love or support or whatever kind of resource. So that's what we're going to be sharing about today. And hello to everyone who's joining live. Hi, Rachel, Nicole, Alice, Joanne, Jessica. It's always great to have people here live. I love hearing where people are tuning in from. And anything you have to say that is relative to this this concept about, like, do I have all I need? How do I receive what I need? And are you in that sort of delusion of, well, I have to just work really hard to get what I need? And so look at your life. What are you doing? What's it been like? Have you found that you're like living in busyness, living in overwhelm? These things will prevent us from receiving. So whether it's because you don't believe you're enough, it's like a subconscious thing usually, or you don't believe it can come fluidly and easily because it hasn't in the past, and because that's been your experience. What has been your experience of this? A lot of times it's a matter of completing those parts from the past, hurts, pains, fears, traumas, any areas when we really didn't get what we needed. And how can we go back to open those spaces, which still exist right now within us, so that those parts of us can receive everything we need right now, so we live feeling whole and complete, and we continue to receive more. Hello, Dima, Randy. Looking lovely as usual. Thank you very much. I do want to also make the announcement. Hello, Bolak from Maine. We're going to be spending some time on the coast of Maine this summer. We're going to be traveling a lot this summer, and I will still be tuning in to the Mindbody community and posting in YouTube and doing all kinds of things that I just love to do. Couldn't not do them if I tried. But I'm not going to be on like my regular schedule. So we're going to put our Mindbody lives on hold for the summer. And then I'll be back to do the broadcast live at 11 a.m. Mountain every Wednesday. So for those of you who usually tune in live, just know we're going to be putting those on hold for a little bit during the summer, and then we'll be back in probably late August or September. And I do have a cool announcement of something that's happening at that time that I'm doing in conjunction with my husband. We have created the Mind Your Body program, and we did this years back, and it's definitely been all along like one of our most loved program that people are most enthusiastic about. And we're going to actually be running that live together and doing a special offer with some live calls with that. So anyone who is in that program, the Mind Your Body, and we'll put the comment here in the links, anyone who is in that will be invited to join us for some live calls and live interaction and live assistance. So anyone who joins by that time, and we'll be announcing this more during August and letting that be clear, but it is really exciting. We had this incredible women's retreat, health, wealth, and wholeness retreat just this past weekend. And I know a lot of you were excited about what we'd be doing there, and I wanted to share. It was absolutely, like, there really are no words for what happened, what we created within ourselves, each of the women there, and what we created for the world, for our world, for others in our world. And so much of it was like this awareness of how other people in our world really can trigger us into this like negative state or fear or lack or bring stuff up, but it's really serving. It's only there to serve our awakening and our awareness of these energies that we've subconsciously held, so we can let that release and receive way, way, way more. And this has a lot to do with what I'm talking about today, so I'm going to get right into it. Hello, Katie, Melanie, Salima. Oh, sorry, your video's not working. Great. I hope we are not too glitchy today. I have had a lot of weird tech glitches lately, which has kind of supported this awareness for me to like tune out, get a little more off the grid and unscheduled, and like really have a good summer off. Randy says, I'm still unsure of where I'm not completing my old energies, especially around money and relationship struggles, lack in money and relationship struggles. Recently, I thought I'd finally broken through that pattern in relationships, but then the beautiful connection I made ended yet again. I don't want to go into the old pattern of trying to figure out where I need to be fixed around all of this, which is just what I was going to say. Yet clearly something hasn't released. Well, the way you're seeing this as a problem is actually the problem. You had a beautiful relationship and a connection. It doesn't mean it's there to last for a lifetime. It means it was a beautiful connection and you can celebrate that until the cows come home. It doesn't mean it's meant to last a lifetime. You can still experience that you've had this beautiful connection, and that is evidence of you deepening in oneness with yourself. So let go of the way you're making it wrong, that it went maybe not the way you thought it was supposed to go. The thing that is meant to be a lifelong connection will come when the timing is right. So just keep receiving everything in total joy and celebration, letting yourself have it and really actually celebrating it. Like, wow, this really was a deep love connection. Always leave people better than you found them. Can you leave, part in love and light and in appreciation of what this was, with the awareness of like, yeah, we're complete. This is not ready to go forward. If you don't feel complete with it, just kind of feel into like, was this really your ideal match? Because sometimes we have this idea in the mind that like, this is what I need, but what's actually in the heart is something else. So there's 3 points I want to make about how to always have what you need. And the first one is there's a big difference between a true need in the heart, which brings ultimate fulfillment and expansion on every level, and then the sort of wants or maybe desires of the mind, what the mind thinks is required for me to be in happiness and joy and fulfillment. And those can be very different things. I need to have more money. I need to have, this kind of relationship, or I need to have a really good job. And you'll look at the difference of that. What's the difference? It's a means to an end. Well, why do you think that job is going to bring you fulfillment? Well, if I have a job, then I'll have more money. Or if I have a job I really love, then I'll be more ease and my body can heal. So what is it you actually want? Oh, I want to feel that sense of wholeness and being energized and feeling passionate. Or, well, if I have more money, then I'll have what I need. I can do this program or have that cure or have more free time or whatever you think it's going to bring you. So feel into the essence of that. What is that freedom? What does it feel like? And begin to resonate in that, meaning like bring it into your body. So feel into now like anything that it is that you want, that you want to invite in, whether it's more free time, more money, more respect in your job or work, more energy in your body. Okay, so we'll speak to this first, that having more energy and health in your body is really about harmony. It's about receiving and releasing resistance, the resistance that keeps your body from, being in that state of health. And so a lot of people want more energy in their body because they want to live life more fully. But the only way we can really be free to live more fully is by letting go of all the ideas we think about who we are, what we need to do, and how we need to be. Most people are living in some kind of fabrication of those 3 things. So they do things that aren't really their heart's desire of like, oh, I love this. I'm going to go make a video. I'm going to go make dinner for my family. I'm going to go take a ride and, I don't know, go and see a movie, go to an appointment, like anything we're going out to do. isn't actually coming from a connection with ourselves and an awareness of what brings me joy. So if you are cooking dinner for your family, like, well, they got to eat, so I have to do this. But can you do it from a place of love? Like, I really love that my family gets fed and nurtured and has healthy food. So that'll actually fuel me doing it, or fuel me finding someone else to do it, or fuel me finding another creative way to have it get done. If we connect with the end instead of the means, we'll actually invite in more, and it comes with the resources to have it happen. When you think you are the only resource, I need to try harder, I need to search more, I need to work harder, you just exhaust yourself. You're not actually receiving. So the first thing is to get out of the idea what you think you need versus what's a true need. So kind of like what I want versus what I really need. And that will always be like the essence of what your heart is asking for. More love, more approval. So for health and to let yourself live you more fully, sometimes we've got to begin to just approve of ourselves. I love myself unconditionally. I'm willing to be all of who I really am. And that's a big thing that came up in the retreat this weekend, because it can be so scary to think, is there really even space for all of who I am? And to like explore the uncharted territory of who you are versus the conclusions that you have about who you're supposed to be. Dima says, health, anxiety, hypochondria creeping up on me. Very serious. Okay. So one of the things with hypochondria, because I used to have that too, what it is that our awareness of the body, our sensory experience of the body, our connection with the body physically will be in fear. Like, I just felt something. What was that? Oh my God, there's a pain. I'm dying. Oh my God, in fear of everything we sense. So sensation is not flowing fluidly. This is one of the main premises in the Mindbody solution for pain release, to allow pain and illness and inflammation to release from the body. We've got to come into more of a harmonic awareness of our body, a harmonic connection with what we sense, being willing to be sensory, sensual beings, and let that awareness in, let the information come through so that energy can move. When energy moves through the body, it doesn't stick around and block health and clog up the systems. Like your energy channels are like a river. And if there's a lot of stuff clogging up those channels, energy can't flow, and it creates illness, disease, pain, fatigue. So hypochondriasis, when we're like kind of afraid of everything we sense. And so you suppress sensation. Chronic pain is suppressed sensation. When you can allow that opening, and it does take courage, and the exercises in the Mindbody solution for pain release are exactly designed for that, to let that energy move. So that now I can feel and sense what's actually happening in here, and have it be a beautiful awareness that I invite. So I'm working in conjunction with my body to expand my awareness, expand my awakening, and make choices based on what is the best, what will contribute the most for me, what will create the most expansion, or even like, what are the possibilities I haven't seen that I could let in to my life? And so then you begin operating beyond the mind from pure awareness. In your heart, you have receptors, sensory neurites, they bypass the conscious mind. So you don't even know why you feel, oh, I just want to go, take a bath, or I just want to go call my friend Tony, or I just want to go see this movie, or go on a trip to Europe. Anything little, teeny, or big, anything that you could listen to this inspiration, and some extraordinary things can happen in your life. And so if you can begin to tune into that and not need it to like be processed against your judgment, or, hey, wait a minute, I should do that, I shouldn't do that, no, and then you suppress it. If you can let more of that in, and connecting with the heart is key, you really receive a lot more. And this is a huge component of what creates health and wealth. Okay, Rachel says, okay, so first I want to say a great resource for that, to create just that heart-brain coherence. I had a video in YouTube called Heart-Brain Coherence, and it's just a little exercise to do to connect with the heart, We've just been so trained to be in the mind, but it's not our natural state. It's not required, and it's okay to let that go. Okay, so getting out of the mind and really connecting with the true need, that's kind of the first step to always receiving what you need. Rachel says, I find it takes a lot of patience to open and receive. Yeah. It's like that's 99.9% of the journey. And then the 99.9. So then the 0.1 is how like the universe meets you and allows you to receive all that's available. So don't worry that it's taking a lot, because hey, that's like the whole journey. So give yourself lots of time to explore that. You have plenty of time. It's okay if you're 80 years old, 90 years old. It's okay. You actually have time because life is on your side. You're still here. That means you still have time. She says, I get impatient and I want everything straight away. Well, that impatience is actually arrogance. This part of us that thinks I should have it my way and I should have it now and this is the right timing. And we actually don't really know what on that level, what is the right timing. Like life knows what your perfect timing is. And I know for me, especially with partnership, God, if I had met my partner any sooner than I did, I probably would have rejected him. I probably would have just shut the whole thing out because it was so intense, and I needed a lot of clarity and a lot of grounding in who I am to be able to receive that partnership and not compromise myself and say, oh, well, I should just try harder. I should just be more loving, or like be clouded, or convince myself that just because this person wanted to be in a partnership that like I should be with them, or all kinds of craziness where I was before, not fully grounded and committed to who I am. So I know if I had met him like 20 minutes sooner, I don't know if it would have gone very well. So it's perfect timing, even though for me, yeah, it was really hard to be like, why is this happening? Why don't I have my partner? It felt really hard. She says, I get impatient, healing, achievements, progress. I want it now. And I feel like I've waited for so many years for all of this. How do you sit with the impatience without going crazy? This is a perfect question, because that's kind of like our step 2 is to access the divine resource, everything that's available, to receive all we need, to always have what we need, to let it come through us. And remember, it's not that we get this means to an end. Like when I get the partner, then I'll really feel loved. It's always now. There is never, ever, ever a moment we can feel more fulfilled than what we can feel right now. So we have to access it in the now, not after I make more money, or after I get that job, or after I quit my job, or after I heal this disease, or after I find that partner. So it's a total delusion that will always keep you on the hamster wheel. What is required is to access it in the now, right here, right now. So to actually meet those needs, what is your true need that has you think you have to have health before you'll feel whole, or you have to have that partner before you'll feel loved, is actually a part of you that you haven't met. It's like a hole, and you're waiting for life to give you this thing and fill the hole, but it's more about like obliterating the hole. So from the inside out, you become more whole, WHOLE, and now you don't have that hole, HOLE, that you're waiting for life to fill from the outside in. This is a huge, huge, completely essential part of the equation, because you can never have true health without that wholeness. And that was actually the theme of the retreat, was health, wealth, and wholeness, and how it's allowing more of our wholeness is exactly what brings true wealth, not more money or more like kudos and achievements. It's actually the wholeness of ourselves, letting ourselves be, love, and accept all of who we are. And that will always allow life to be the mirror, because life is going to be a mirror of your wholeness, not your achievements or how much you've earned it or how hard you work or what a good person you are or any of that. It's going to be a reflection of how whole you are with these parts of yourself. Have you met your unmet pain? And in the Mindbody solution for pain release, it's really about that. It's like, can you go into like what's underneath that physical pain or that physical illness? That's like the deeper layer of feeling hopeless and afraid, feeling frustrated and angry, feeling a lot of despair that we've suppressed. So we don't want to feel that despair. And so the physical body will manifest pain because we stuff all these emotions. And so the body doesn't really physically get what it needs. So can you let yourself meet that pain or that illness and everything it brings up for you and go into those deeper spaces? That's what will create the opening. So no need to be impatient thinking, but I have to have it this way. That's all the mind. And the heart is infinitely patient. There is zero impatience when you're in your heart, because the heart knows I already am all that I'm seeking. Okay. Hello, Dee Dee, Michelle, Ivy. Amy says, I'm so glad you mentioned triggering. So often I find that I'm frustrated at myself for getting angry or sad about things I can't control, like someone else being rude. And then I feel guilty for letting it affect me. Yeah. So this is really beautiful. I had an experience this morning like this, and I was driving to an appointment and I was in kind of like a anxious place, like all these things going on in my life. And I was like, all right, what's going on? Just meet what you're feeling. It's not about the things going on ever, 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 ever. And so I just met this feeling of unease, like it wasn't a stillness. So I just breathed in through my nose, let the belly expand, and then I let the belly come back in with the exhales. And I did a few breaths like that. I breathe in through my nose and then I slowly breathe out through my mouth. Like, okay, body, I'm registering what's going on in here and it's okay. And then there was this whole thing around this. I had these headphones I borrowed from my husband, which were like these super high-end headphones. And he's always very generous. Yeah, you can use this. Oh yeah, I have more. Oh, here you go. But sometimes I lose things and I'm not that good about it. Oh, and I feel so bad because I'm like, oh my God, I broke his headphones or I lost his thing or whatever. And I actually thought, I thought I lost them. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to backtrack where I went hiking yesterday and like look around and find them. They must have fallen into my pocket. But then I went into this whole thing about like, why am I such an irresponsible person? And it made me feel really bad because like you can't actually do anything about that. So instead, I celebrated myself. The only thing that will create expansion in your life is to honor, love, accept, and celebrate yourself. And so like if I berate myself for this like habit I've had of not being very responsible, it's not going to create something new, like me always having what I need. So I caught it in the moment and it was like, Kim, I love you. I honor you. I cherish you implicitly. And I actually really do have a partner who reflects that. Like, I know he maybe would be bummed at first. Like, what the heck? How did you do this again? But he wouldn't make that matter, you know? And so I just did it for myself. It was like, Kim, I love you unconditionally. Whatever this habit has been, when you're ready to release it, you release it. I love you. I cherish you. I love you unconditionally. Be anxious for nothing. Let this go. There's nothing you need to be afraid or anxious for. And I felt better. And then I got to my appointment and I picked up my phone. It was like on the middle console. And what was right under it was the headphones. And I was so excited and I felt so awesome because I was like, oh, I don't have to run back up to the mountain and like run around that trail and look, because I was like, I couldn't have lost them. But anyway, the most important part wasn't receiving that I had the headphones. It was receiving that I love myself unconditionally and I'm not going to beat myself up and berate myself and destroy myself over something that doesn't actually matter. Meaning you can get new headphones, but you can't get a new you. You can't get a new relationship with yourself if you keep destroying it. Okay, so there we have it. Let yourself get triggered, but meet yourself more fully when you do, because those people or things that trigger you are there just to show you your unresolved pain, the places where you're not aware of these wounds that you've still carried. Dima says, health anxiety is what holds me back. Every time I see so much evolution, something serious creeps up on me. It gives me a feeling that it's great danger if I don't attend to this, to me, or the scariest, to my kids. All right. Can you really get rid of the scary mental chatter? Lately, it's so strong it made me wonder if I should consider medication. Can we heal hypochondria? Yes, we absolutely, unequivocally can release hypochondria. We can release that pattern of fear that we hold in our nervous system and in our sensory system, and then begin to receive the body in awareness. So it's like, oh, I have awareness. There's something going on here. Let me get it checked out. Doesn't mean I'm not in fear, so I don't need to go to the doctor. That's not the same thing. Being aware means you know when there's actually something required and you get taken care of, and you know when it's like, nope, everything's okay. Let's just sit with this. So what are we looking at here for Dima? Yeah. So when you're saying like, I see so much evolution and then something serious creeps up on me, that's like asking for a rewrite. You've entered a new space of expansion, and then this thing's like, wait a minute, what about this? But if it gets your attention and you're like, oh yeah, it really isn't okay, you anchor back into that old consciousness. So it's kind of like a test in your system to be like, wait a minute, you made the conclusion that life is not safe and it's not okay, and I'm just going to remind you of that. And then you can anchor back into it. Oh yeah, this old commitment where I got to be protected all the time and it's not okay to receive. And then you kind of go back into that, versus you're in a space of expansion, but you really anchor into it. Be anxious for nothing. It's okay for me to let that go. And then when that last little layer that comes up in like a little big scary monster is like, but what about this? And you're like, it's okay. Even this, I can let it go. Because as you come into serenity, you have more clarity, not less. So it's not like you're going to ignore something that's required or push it away. No, it's the opposite of suppression. So you're inviting it all to come up and be seen so that energy can resolve. So sometimes that's what's happening in that last stage as you enter and ground into a new stage, a new level of serenity. Okay, I want to talk about this next piece. So we've got getting out of the mind and into the heart of like, what is it I truly need? So it's like, I gotta have more money. I gotta have this person stop bothering me. Okay, wait, what's going on in me? What's actually happening that I'm feeling? Body, what do you need? Take a few breaths, let some of the energy release so there's more clarity. And then there may be like awareness of, I just feel so alone and unmet. I just feel so scared. I feel so inadequate. Like it's never going to be enough. Then you just, that's kind of the second step. It's kind of accessing like what's really going on and meeting it. So you can just take a few deep breaths and let light come into those spaces that you've now opened to, and let that part of you receive. It's so easy, because what we really need to receive is love. So our attention, our loving attention will create that. And then the third part is we expand into a greater level of abundance. We actually let life be the reflection of what we've grounded into. And like I said, just before that kind of happens, there can be a lot of little tests of like, oh, wait, what if, like it's trying to get our attention back into the old consciousness because we set that up. We made those conclusions or vows. I'll never open up. I'm going to protect myself. It's not okay. And then it's like, oh, maybe I'll try it. And then something happens that seems scary. And we're like, no, I was right all along. Life really isn't abundant. So we kind of like keep our commitment. It's not that life is testing you because it's this bad thing. It's just you've put these patterns in place to protect yourself. And this part of you is coming up to say, hey, wait a minute. You told me to keep these protections in and not let anybody in and not let in too much. And now you want to receive. Are you sure? So you've got to kind of like commit to it, to that next level. Anchor in that first piece of going from the mind to the heart, and the second piece of opening to receive, and in that third piece of like letting it in, expanding into even greater abundance, letting life really serve you and staying anchored there, even when it's uncomfortable, because it's going to be uncomfortable because you're integrating a new frequency. So it's okay that it's uncomfortable, but it'll actually feel like that kind of, you'll have the awareness that you're moving through the discomfort, that the discomfort is old energy and pain releasing. So it won't be the same as like, oh, this really isn't right for me. Let me go the opposite direction. it will feel expansive to move through it, and it will feel suppressive to like run away from it, even though it's uncomfortable. So that recalibration into a higher frequency is often very uncomfortable. It does get way more comfortable as you go forward, because then you have awareness of like, oh, I'm recalibrating. This is okay. And like I talked about last week, I got on a plane to go visit my husband because he was traveling, and we had this amazing event that we wanted to go to together. And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it. But then when it came to making plans and our daughter was like, I don't want you to leave, I was like doubting myself. And the more I doubted myself, the more it felt really bad. But the more I anchored back into, wait a minute, Kim, you make the choice of what's really right from your knowing, and then let Gemma know what's happening, because she'll get on board for it if you're anchored into your yes. And that's exactly what happened. It was insane how quick. It was like 10 seconds. So I went to the bathroom and it was like, Kim, what do you know? What's the right choice? Even though it was scary to choose it, and it was like, oh, I'm questioning it. No, I know this is the right choice, and this will create huge expansion. And it already has created like unthinkable things. And then I shifted in myself, like, nope, I know this is right. And even if she doesn't like it at first, it's going to ultimately contribute to her, because every time I honor myself, it does. And so she got on board so fast, and it was pretty incredible. And so I want to share a little bit about what happened at the retreat, because my husband came to be a part of it. We have done some work together, and we created the Mind Your Body program several years back. And it was like the first program I ever created online. It was like all my best stuff. It was amazing. And everyone, like so many people, loved this program. So years go by, we're not doing the business together anymore. I'm kind of like doing my own thing. It's a different brand. It's a different way. It's really been fluid for me. But we kind of always thought like, would we work together again? Because that was pretty amazing. And we're in such a different space now. So we came to the retreat to share with the women. And if anyone is on here who experienced that, share your thoughts on it, or what that was like, because people were on the edge of their seat, like, I'm not missing this for anything, because we ended up going way over time. And I'm like, oh, we could take a break now. And everyone's like, no, let's keep going. A lot of what came up in the retreat with the women was about partnership and about others in their life who were kind of triggering them or holding them back. Or if it weren't for this person, I could really have the freedom I want, whether it's family or partner. And I was like, wow, I really have got to get Mario to come. He offered to do it anyway. And I was like, this is such a yes. And so he came and just really spoke to, like, from the man's perspective, we really need tenderness. You've got to be the invitation, not the push of like, trying to get your partner out of fear or out of their old habits, and share this new insight that you've learned about, like, whoa, we're all connected and everything's possible, and come on, get on board for this. But like meeting a lot of resistance. And he really spoke to exactly like what we're doing that creates that, and how we can do things differently to be the invitation for our family and our partners and our, everyone in our lives, instead of trying to like get them on board for what we know. Totally different way. Anyway, it was really, really beautiful. And it was amazing to welcome him into the space and see what that contributed to the women. And we have decided to do a program, to do that exact program again, and run it live, with some live calls and things when we come back from the summer. So I will be sharing about that. And anyone who's already in that program, you'll be invited to be a part of that. But anyway, I know that my going out there to do that trip, like, this is one of the things that was created, because it deepened our intimacy, it deepened our connection and commitment to each other. We had an amazing, amazing, amazing time. And I know that will create so many beautiful things for our home, for our children, and for, like, what we're doing in the world and in business. So it's always worth listening to your yes, even if it's uncomfortable, because I was aware of, like, Kim, just let life in. It's okay if this is uncomfortable. Bianca says, I've been releasing a lot and allowing the physical sensations to just be there. Yes, thank you. She says, hello from Texas. This topic came right on time. Thank you. Okay. And Bianca also says, I've noticed I've been releasing low vibrational energies in my dreams. Yeah, that is very, very common. Like feeling physical sensations in my body in my sleep. Have you ever experienced that? Yes. I won't even get into what happens in my dreams. But yeah, I've processed a lot in sleep my whole life. And since I met my husband, he's started processing a lot of things like that as well. Rachel says, you're totally spot on. There's so much of me I haven't met. I've just been this sick person for so long, thinking when I'm better, when I get a full-time job, etc., I'll be respected. People will then see me instead of me being invisible, which is what I've felt with this chronic illness. I've obviously haven't met any of this in me, and I haven't even thought of looking at it this way. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad that I shared it this way, because sometimes to me, so many things are really obvious, and at the same time, it's useful to really spell them out. So the purpose of this about how to always have what we need, life is the reflection of your embodiment. And if you're in self-rejection, consciously or unconsciously, it's going to show up as lack in your life. And so, especially in the health, wealth, and wholeness retreat, it was really an integration of like, where are these parts of you haven't even made space for in your life because it's been too scary, or you need to hide them, or you've been rejected. We're not there anymore. And you can complete that and invite these parts forward to be loved by you, to be received by you, to be seen by you, because you are the one that determines the whole equation for how you're received and treated in your world. Lynn, hello, beautiful. She says, I love your beautiful honesty. All right. And Nicole says, I had a need to love and forgive myself, and I find it's such a struggle. Yeah, that is really your work. Where is it a struggle? Where have you decided you're not worth it? She also says, I'm noticing a lot of anger. The little boy will do something and I want to explode. Yep. So let that trigger the heck out of you and meet those spaces 100%. Okay. Dima says, so there's hope for that mental chatter to become with the heart-brain coherence. It seems that there's always something to worry about popping up. Yeah, so as long as you stay on the fear channel, there's gonna be like this fear and this fear and this fear and this fear, and or you'll get this done and this done and this done and this done, but it's never actually going to meet that space. It'll be like a 10-second relief, but you'll just feel the fear again, and next thing comes up, and then it's like, oh, when I take care of this next thing, and that is not the same at all. You just stay on the hamster wheel of running from the fear as opposed to, or running from the inadequacy, as opposed to really meeting the spaces in you that need love. All right, so I'm going to complete. Nicole says, I feel like I'm completely worthless as I am. Yeah, so that's the space. And a lot of us ultimately have to meet that. Because as we move into higher space, and I talked about this in the Awaken Your Business Collaborative, right now, it's really essential for those of us who are moving into something higher to let in unthinkable ways of letting money come in, letting energy come in, letting support come in, because where we're anchoring into, it's not this old world of like 1 + 1 = 2, or I have to get a better job in order to make more money. There are way, way more infinite resources that are ready to come in, but you've got to let go of these channels of thinking and perceiving that you're already on, in order to let the body be fed and nurtured in more etheric ways, like just through pure love. Instead of like, sometimes we have the idea, I've got to find the right diet or the right supplement or the right medication, that there are other ways the body can receive energy and be sourced. Letting serendipitous things happen, like I meet my partner, and I meet amazing friends, or I have awesome fun things happen that I didn't even plan for. And also receiving abundance, resource, and money through unforeseen channels that didn't exist before, because they really go beyond the paradigm that we've been in. And the paradigm we've been in, you really got to sweat it out in order to get your needs met. And so just be willing to make a little space, if you're operating on that channel, to like relax around it and just be curious. I wonder what that would look like. I can't even imagine, but is there really something more that's possible? Just that curiosity will break that stronghold you may have had about the conclusions that you're holding. All right, so I want to thank everyone for being here live, and I want to also remind everyone we won't be live through the summer, but I'll be back at the end of the summer. There are, in the Mindbody community, all of the recorded videos that we've done. It's been 2 years. Oh my my God, it's so crazy that we've been doing this live. And I'm excited to come back. And I'll also be on Instagram over the summer. I'll be in the Mindbody community on Facebook for sure, checking in. And we will be sharing, the newsletter. So if you're subscribed at drkimd.com, you will hear from me. We put something out. It's going out tomorrow. Just a little bit of the recap of what we're doing this summer and some other information. And I'll be sharing about the invitation after the summer to come into the Mind Your Body program. If you want to join at any time before that, that's fine. It's at drkimd.com/MYB if you'd like to come into that live program with my husband and myself. And okay, Anne says, I'm digging deep into this work and my body is getting louder with intense headaches, but also an internal shaking. I haven't felt safe being in my body. How do I discern if I need medical evaluation or if this is a recalibration? That is an excellent question. So if you're in fear, like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on, you won't have the clarity about any of it. So the first thing is to really meet what's happening and breathe through. If you're bleeding out and hosing to death, you just like, let's get to the ER right now. But for pretty much anything else, like most things can take 10 seconds of like integrating a higher frequency, releasing fear. So just, you can put your hands on your heart and breathe and give 10 seconds or even 10 minutes of presencing your body. It's okay to be going through what you're going through. It's okay to release what we're releasing and to welcome in more abundance. So letting your body know, body, I get what's going on here. And yes to all of that. What do you need? And then as you tune into, I'm going to give my body what it needs, as opposed to, I need to make these symptoms go away, you'll have a very different awareness. It's like, what's right about this I'm not getting? My body is going through a process. What does it need to support that versus, no, this is bad and wrong and I have to suppress it, which is that's really not what's going on at all. So take a look from that standpoint. Nicole says, I also think part of me has this pressure to heal so I can take care of everyone else. And I'm letting that go now. Yeah, I think that's why this has taken a long time, is because you've been trying to heal so you can get back to the task of taking care of everyone. And the whole reason this has come up is because life is trying to boot you into something higher. Like, that world has died. You are not going to be able to sustain yourself in that frequency for like 10 seconds. So every time you re-anchor into that, if you do get a little bit of relief or health or energy, and then you anchor back into that, it'll zap it. It'll deplete you so fast, you won't be able to function there. So you have got to begin functioning in a higher frequency of self-love and self-celebration and unconditional self-acceptance in order for your body to get what it needs. And that's true for all of us to some degree in different ways. All right, so we are complete with our questions here. I will look for comments that come in later for those of you listening to the recording. It's been amazing to be on this journey with you. Amazing. And I'm so grateful. I'll be sharing my awesome adventures this summer. We'll be traveling out east, and I'm taking a trip with my husband, and we're going to be on the beach with the kids for a little bit. So I'm really, really excited to be doing that. And I know it will create amazing things to just honor myself through this process of kind of like, getting off the schedule and having a little bit more relaxation. So I'm so excited to be the all-new Kim Duramo when we return. And I'm sending you so much love. Thanks for tuning in today. And I'll see you on Instagram and Facebook in the Mindbody community over the summer. And I'm sending you so much love in every moment. Bye. Bye.